What up, girl?
Welcome back. You look fit.
Oh, it's this angle. This looks really good. It kind of
Mm.
like makes the fat kind of hang down. You know what I mean?
Oh, stop.
The way to do it. My arms are still so uneven from my accident.
They
Like,
don't
look at
look.
my little bicep,
They don't
and
look
then
uneven.
this little nugget. It's still my chicken wing. You know,
Oh, girl, nobody can see it except you.
it's absolutely true. But I like it. When I got married, I told my person, I said, I want to make sure my good arm is facing the audience for my wedding. And she was like, "You don't have a good, both your arms are good, man, man." I'm like, "Okay, you're great, we get it." But I do have a good arm, and then a
Oh,
cabinet
girl.
hinge. How are
Girl,
you?
today's topic should have been self-sabotage because we need to talk about like negative self-talk.
Yes, today's topic could have been the cabinet hinge in my elbow. How are you, girl?
The cabinet hinge. I'm pretty good. I'm managing.
Mm.
I was very depleted this weekend, physically, mentally, and spiritually, and so I've been asking myself, what are the things that fill me up? And then I realized it's Tuesday night. Let's do covered dish.
And then here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had like a bizarrely like peaceful and cataclysmic weekend, but that's for another day. That's for another dish.
Peaceful
So
and cataclysmic. That's very
all at
complicated.
once. It was very complicated, but I'm glad to
Uh-huh.
be in the week. I'm glad to be home in Florida, which always feels weird to say that now about like being in Ohio used to be home,
Yeah,
and it's so weird because obviously I was in Ohio last week because we did an in-person deal.
you may have noticed, viewers.
You may have asked, scholars do not remain divided. It was an in-person dish, but I'm like, there's something that happened about, I don't know, a little less than 2 years ago. It took me over a year to feel like when I was flying back to Florida, I was flying home.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget the first time after that I flew back to Ohio. And I didn't have that same feeling of home. I was still so excited. I was still all these things, but it's just like, it's amazing how that concept of home shifts. And for the record, dear viewers, home is not tonight's topic.
But it is where the heart is. No, home is not tonight's topic. In fact, tonight's topic might be the opposite of home.
Facts.
It might be the opposite of safety, the opposite of comfort, the opposite of a good thing to do, a good productive activity, good way to spend your time. Brooke, before we get any further in this episode, I need to just go ahead and light the candle you got me, Freshly Fucked Grave.
Oh, freshly cooked green. Yes.
Look how well this color story is like. It's
I
very much on
know.
the same wavelength. It's actually part of the reason this sounds ridiculous, but it's true. It's part of the reason I wore this very goth outfit, this very
I love
like
it.
charmed the craft outfit was so I could model this candle for you.
I think it's amazing. Everything's going together beautifully. And I didn't even mean to, but I also matched the candle.
Yes, girl, look at that like hot topic circa 2004 coffin dust.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I like put it on.
I can't like
My,
this. Damn it. Well, fuck that match.
don't throw a match on carpet.
Oh, it's fine. It didn't light. It's fine. The fire marshal's
Oh,
not here. Wow.
I mean,
I
we
think
gotta
it's these
focus on.
nails.
I think it's the matches.
Where did I get these from? The whole episode has come to a screeching halt because Eileen can't light a match. There we go.
Which is ironic as fuck given the theme.
Well, I hate these little book matches because they're impossible to actually light.
Oh yeah, they're
Give me a nice firm stick. You know what I mean?
terrible.
That wasn't supposed to be as suggestive as it came out. So, girl, now that we've called the corners and opened the circle, the magic circle, let's talk about the 9 rings of hell, otherwise known as. I feel like I need to list them. eHarmony.
Ah,
Start at the
Christian
top.
Mingle,
Christian Mingle, Plenty of
Farmers
Fish.
Only.
Yeah, did you say farmers only?
I surely did.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Okay, Plenty of Fish, R.I.P.
Plenty of Fish. Our Time, ourtime.com.
Never even heard of it.
For seniors. It's Our Time.
Oh, I love that.
I was trying to get my mom on it.
Nice. OkCupid, Tinder, Grindr,
Bumble.
Bumble, Hinge.
And then there's some like.
And then there's more.
Yeah, the like BDSM kink app.
FetLife, yep.
Really specific lesbian apps like Her, which just has 10 women on it.
Yeah. Remember Find
and
Fred?
They're all turfs.
they're all turfs. They're like,
I'm a her.
They're like okay. They're all like fiercely gatekeeping womanhood on dating apps.
Relax, JK. Get off the app.
Joanne Rowling is on Her.
That's her first name,
Joanne, yeah. And then there's other obscure ones which I do not recommend, by the way. Remember when Find Fred was a thing for gay men briefly in the early 20-teens? That was the more tame. Then there was
Craigslist.
Adam for Adam.
I do remember Adam for Adam.
Pretty bad. I was on that for a while. Then there was Manhunt, a little bit lower than that. Manhunt was like Manhunt walked so Grindr could run, you know? Same kind of deal. I was actually kicked off of Manhunt when I was 18 because they didn't think I was as old as I was, and which was probably safer for me anyway, let's be honest. They asked me to send them a scan of my driver's license, and I said, no, thank you. Yeah, that face.
Oh my God.
I know,
I'm sorry, that is like, that's wild to me on so many levels, because like no website is attempting to be that ethical at all anymore.
No,
you know what I mean?
Not at all. And here I am in my freshman dorm logging onto Netscape Navigator, trying to find like 40-year-old men. It was a lot. It was bad.
We just Googled Manhunt, and there it is. Manhunt.
Manhunt, yeah. You know what? I'm not sure that it's around anymore. I don't care to go look. Someone, please, braver than I, please get in the chat and let us know if it still exists. And then there was Daddy Hunt, which is where I met my partner. That was great. Still around. Love their blog articles, actually.
Really?
Yeah, you know, some of these dating apps now put out great content. Grindr's doing a great podcast starring Katya and a bunch of her friends.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's called Who's the Asshole? And they just talk about, like, popular cultural discourse. And they've got, like, a marble statue of David, but turned around. So, like, the ass is just constantly in the shot. I love it. It's so
that's
fierce.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Brooke, I want to get right down to the 9th ring of hell. I've been wanting to tell you this story. If you think that you've had bad experiences on dating apps, I just want you to know that there is a website that exists that I used to be on because I had no sense of self-worth, called tgpersonals.com. And I know what you're thinking. Is this just a site for, like, trans people to think that they're going to find meaningful connections with people, but it's just 100% chasers? And you would be correct. It was a dark, dark time. It's a dark glimpse into the abyss.
So what do you think percentage individuals on tgpersonals.com was actually trans folks?
I don't know, because I'm not a data scientist. I just have a love of spreadsheets. And I didn't do any kind of. I love the way in the promo I put that I had quantitative analysis for you, and that's not true. I'm sorry.
It surely does not.
Sometimes we lie. I don't have
marketing. Sometimes we lie.
Covered dish. I don't have any numbers for you, but I think it was probably like, I don't know. I have the sense that it was like around half and half, but it was like trans people, and then like, I can't say this word, but we'll call them trans chasers.
Yeah.
The real word has a slur in it, which we don't need to go there.
We don't need to do that. Chasers is fine. Everybody knows.
Everybody knows. Oh my gosh, you at home, if you don't know, let me go ahead and define it for you. A chaser is somebody who fetishizes a part of your marginalized experience for their own, like, sexual gratification. So there are trans chasers, there are size chasers, there are disability chasers, there are race chasers. Like, it gets grosser and grosser. And just whatever you can imagine, it exists.
Oh no, I've had bizarrely, you know what it is? People will share stuff thinking they're talking about attraction and they're talking about chasing. Like,
Yeah. I just don't think people see it.
yeah, like I remember I was talking with this white cis lesbian, and I don't know where they are and what their gender is anymore, but that's how they identified
Mm-hmm.
at the time. And they were like, yeah, like you're great, but I really want to like, I think I'm meant to be with like a black woman. I think I need to go find one black woman to be with. And I was like, oh my God, you're terrible. I was like, what? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
You're like, I would tell you to dig into that statement and like reevaluate and reassess, but I do not have the time, and it's above my pay
yeah,
grade.
I was like,
you know what I mean?
acquaintance, and it was like I was in my early 20s, like also not very like how to tackle that of like that is first at the best racist,
Right.
at the best,
At the best. At the best. How do you even tackle that? Is not the kind of thing you're going to solve in one conversation. That is going to be
No,
some long, hard reflections.
but I think there's this like Dan Savage had this disability rights advocate on. He's like, don't go out with me just because I'm in a wheelchair just to prove yourself, right? There's the reverse where people are like, I can do it. I can just do it. It's like, please don't make me your example of whatever you're trying to prove to yourself or someone else. But chasing's on the other side, right?
Yep. No, there's the chasing is not good, and the experiment is also not good.
Right. Or the like weird proving to self you're aggressive enough or inclusive enough or whatever the hell.
Yeah, Brooke, has this ever happened to you where you feel like someone wants you to congratulate them for being attracted to you?
You know what? Yes, but I'm going to go ahead and make a cognitive leap and say not as many times as it's happened to you.
You're probably right, but again, I simply don't have the numbers to back it up. You know what? I'm not interested. I'm not interested in data in this particular instance. I'm normally a fan of data-driven decisions or just, data in general. I don't have it. I think we should have it, but I don't know if I'm the right tran to lead that project. You know what I mean?
No, but I think there is, I've seen it when we've been out.
Yeah.
And I feel like men sometimes are just like, pretty amazing, right? What? And men are always like that, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you nailed it. You actually nailed you picked up on the next comment I was gonna make, which is just like a lot of men are just like dumbfoundingly impressed by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, wow, I feel like I figured it out. I think I just solved transphobia. And you're like, let's check, please,
No, I always get from men, I don't like the typical woman. I like you. You know what I mean? And I'm like, cool.
Yeah. Great, I'm going to go spiral about that.
Yeah.
Let me just go overanalyze. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, I was reading about the death of the dating app because I brought data because I knew you wouldn't. JK, I just looked it up before we started. And
that's why our friendship works.
There's something in the article about platform decay, right? And like as it goes on, the exposure, and I think the best example of this is X.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
which is now a verifiable dumpster fire.
Yes. Yes.
Terrible. Just all misinformation and hate speech and disinformation and really quite atrocious. And I'm wondering with, dating apps, this article was talking about how if you really want quality, and I'm using that term in the context of this, in terms of the success of what you're looking for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of meeting your goals, which is meeting a partner, you need to pay for the app.
Mm.
And I was like, only in America have we really decimated community spaces because of capitalism.
Yeah.
We've decimated community spaces.
Right.
And like capitalism and racism, and we've destroyed the community space. I mean.
And third spaces generally. We're all just trapped at work in our houses. And
right.
Unless you belong to a spiritual community, you might not even have a third space.
Right. And thank you for putting that more eloquently. And then gatekeep connection, and real connection through classes. And like, hey, you want real connection? It'll cost you. Whether it's a dating app, whether it's a country club membership, and whether it's a spiritual or religious organization, I'm going to just go ahead and say for many religious organizations that also comes at a cost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether it's tithing, the emotional cost, the pressure of being in a community, and the risk of falling out of favor with whatever laws or commandments are required at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think about that. There's a church at my corner, and they always have all these ads out there for free childcare. But they're also this church that sends out Christmas ornaments, like cardboard Christmas ornaments, but it's a fetus.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, they're really anti-choice.
Oh
and
wow!
I'm like,
oh my god!
But it's interesting. But then they also have like discounted / free childcare, and they advertise it. And I'm like, it's so weird because it's like if you're a mom or a dad or a caregiver, whatever, and whatever, if you have a kid in your life and you see this, like you could get pulled into this church if you're not bright enough. They seem a little wonky. I feel like most people would catch on. And then you're like in the system where it's like, well, they give me the free childcare I need. They give me this, they give me that. I can't leave. I have to conform, right?
Yeah.
So these spaces become predatory. These third spaces become predatory because we rely on them. We, maybe, yes, there's a piece of the social fabric in the community, but then it can really quickly backslide into, if my ideas of conformity don't meet these extremely stringent standards,
right,
I'm excommunicated and lose all of the support I need to function in my life.
Yeah, the community support is highly conditional. But
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, but the platform decay is really interesting because you've got a couple things, right? There's different aspects of platform decay. One is you've got lots of users on there, and and they might not have been on there for a long time, and so a lot of apps now will track when the last time you were active was, and then like automatically deactivate your account if you haven't been on a certain time. So that's one thing. But then also it's the behavior. Like, this is not the early days where you had like just a couple people who have tried dating. Like, dating apps are very prevalent now, and because of our lack of third spaces, because of our sort of like shared trauma, our shared experience of trauma that we're all going through, and we're all kind of tired and don't want to leave our house, it's like the dating apps don't do anything to discourage bad behavior. I mean, they do, but go with me on this a little bit. It's like you're just doing swiping based on, do I think this person looks attractive? I'm guilty of this too, right? It's like, nope, yes, nope, yes. And then even you get this like micro validation when you match on somebody because you're like, oh, this person thought I was attractive. And then you might send them a message, but it just quickly dissolves. Like, all the people I talk to that are on dating apps are just like, yeah, we might have had 1 or 2 messages, and then they just like evaporate and just nothing happens. And so I question, like, there was a time where you'd hear a lot of success stories of people who are like, oh, I met my boyfriend, my partner, I met my husband on online dating. And now it's, I mean, that probably still happens here and there, but I just question whether it's this mode of dating and meeting people is like really valuable anymore.
Well, I think for queer folks especially, I think it's such a scary time to be gay and trans in this country. And I'm like, the death of the gay bar and so many folks going back into the closet. And I was actually, I was doing some research on the myth of like detransitioning, because that's like a big argument I get a lot from people that are like, oh, we're detransitioning. I'm like, actually, no.
Yeah.
But when you dig deeper into the statistics on detransitioning, the overwhelming majority of people who have reported detransitioning, almost 85% of those people, which is already a small number. Okay. So small number. And then the majority of that small number, they detransition due to external factors. Religious pressure, family pressure. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's not because they doubted who they were. They realized they couldn't live the life they wanted to live because of the community pressures and kind of what we were talking about, these conditional societal standards.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you're queer and in a space that isn't where my mom thinks all the queer people are, which is still San Francisco, and God love her for it. How else do you make community? I was thinking about it. one of my friends who is like a bisexual fat positive influencer, Elizabeth Chin in Columbus, Ohio. Love her.
Yes, love
Um,
Elizabeth Chen.
love Elizabeth Chin. So she posted something about like a queer hiking thing. And I was like, oh my God, like I should go. And then I was like, I don't like hiking. Like, I'm like, God damn it. Like, I like the
So
queer
close.
part.
Yeah. So close.
You know what I mean? It's like, there's no just queer. It's like queer, pottery, trans, hiking. Like, it's just like, fuck, I just want to be gay somewhere.
Right. I can't tell you how many times, like, someone I know has tried to start a coven because...
Same thing.
Yeah. But it's true. It's like, oh, we all feel like we're practitioners. We want to get together. And then it's just kind of like, yeah, but we don't want agenda. What we really wanted was just to hang out, you know?
Right. Right. And I'm like, I'm like, I've been going to these events down here in South Florida, and we have a lot of opportunities for celebration and fundraising and advocacy. But sometimes I'm just like, I just want to be in a fucking space where I'm not like, let's raise money for people.
Yeah, yeah,
we're gay,
right.
We're raising money for people.
Let's do more work.
Well, right. And it's like, I don't know, like, I mean, oh my God, we don't have the kind of time to talk about the benefit, the queer benefit show. Hi.
I truly do not have the capacity for that conversation right now.
I respect your choice. So, but I'm like, it's like, I think that's the other piece of it, right? It's like, we're trying to make these connections and we're more isolated than ever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, just to get together, I have plans this weekend with my gay best friend / beard from high school. And I'm going to see another friend of mine who's queer in Miami. And I'm just like, lining up those recharges, right, of connections and friendships and all of that. And it's like, what's the agenda? The agenda is just to exist in queerness. Mm-hmm. And like, that is what I, crave. And I feel like I can't be alone in that, and trying to find that on an app or something. It's so difficult because, I don't know, I was talking to a good friend of mine about this in preparation for this episode. And she was talking to me and she's like, look, 1 or 2 messages and that's all you get from me until I decide if we're going to meet. I do it really quick because I don't really want to ask you how your day is for 5 weeks. Like that's just not.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I've been in that whirlpool. I've been in that whirlpool with lots of different people at the same time, and it's really draining. And it's like, I don't know, what are we doing here? What's the end goal, right? Is it just to like sustain some feeling of being out there in some way? I don't even understand what it is, but I go through these cycles of like being fed up with it and uninstalling. When I say all of them, for me, it's just pretty much OkCupid and Tinder, because for whatever reason I crave the punishment, I guess. Like they're both.
That's fat life, girl. Sorry.
Well played. Well, I'll see. Well played. No, those two are truly terrible, and also like I'm sure you could make a case for why the other ones are less terrible, but like they're all terrible, right?
Yeah,
it's fine. They're all terrible. We could just agree they're all terrible, and but then something just feels like it's kind of missing, and I don't know if it's the possibility, or if it's just the new energy of like, oh, this person's attractive and they sent me a message. Like it does feel kind of nice, I guess. But then inevitably it either dissolves or it turns into like, whoa, that went left. And now the guy holding the fish said the thing, right? Said the either the chaser thing or the experiment thing or the transphobic thing or the anti-feminist thing. It's always one of those buckets, right?
Or they're like, I'm apolitical.
Yeah, and then I leave feeling like, well, I guess I'm just an angry trans progressive, and then I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, yes, I am an angry trans progressive.
And then you update your dating profile.
Yeah, angry trans progressive. I bet I'll get a lot of hits with that one.
That's what you get. You get something, but I think that's why what I like the way my friend uses this dating app. Well, she's on Bumble.
Mm-hmm.
And she's on the friend side, which we could get in a whole fucking conversation about that bullshit. Because it is not for friends.
That is not for friends.
It's not.
I love put a pin in mixed messages on dating apps because I want to tell some funny stories. Go.
Okay, excellent. Well, I'll do it really quickly. But that's the other piece of it is like, hey, I want to get together. I want to make, she's actually like, I do actually want to make friends. So why would I go back and forth? You know what I mean? And it's really interesting because she'll be like, hey, I'd love to get together. Now, by the way, this is like cis queer women. so the level of safety, I'm not saying that women can't be serial killers on dating apps, but it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm. It is a little, it's a little different. Yeah.
The risk is different and a little less, but like, it's amazing when she will ask people like how much they're like, oh, like this feels soon. And it's like, why? We either get coffee or a beverage, right? Or we message on here for 5 weeks. So anyways, what was it? Miscommunications?
Mixed messages.
Mixed messages.
Yeah, I love when
come with some good ones.
Yeah, I love when you get like on Tinder, you'll have this field that's like, what are you looking for? And I love it when you see like somebody only lists new friends, because the options are like long-term open to short, short-term open to long, just short-term fun, like looking for long-term partner, or just friends. And my favorite is when someone puts just friends and nothing else, and it's like a headless, like nude torso. Just like in a bathroom mirror, or like the picture where it's just like, this is so gross. It's like a picture of them in lounge pants and they've like taken a picture of their lap. It's gross. Just looking for friends.
That's exactly how I do it.
And I'm like, Mary, get off your phone, figure out your life, and touch grass. I don't know what it is you need in this moment, but like go outside and like tell me 5 things you can see. Tell me 4 things you can hear. Like, let's do some mindfulness. Because the level of delusion that you're exhibiting is holding you back from lots of experiences in this world.
That's amazing.
Whatever it is that you're looking for, this is...
You don't know.
Yeah, get out of your own way. That's my favorite expression.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I love the just friend, or I love the Bumble friend side, because there's people on there that are like couples, or there's people on there that are like, no, really just friends, because my wife has this app as well, and we're on it together. Like, it's this shit where it's like, you're on that side, but you're on that side to be more devious and like more clandestine.
Yeah.
It's like,
you know what, the thing, I know we've talked about this before in certain shades, I really do not like the joint account for a couple. And the pictures are all them.
We have talked about it, and you should talk about it again.
Yeah. The pictures are of like 15 pictures of them touching each other, like cheek to cheek, like it's like terrifying.
You know why?
It's like no one is safe, including both of you.
It traumatizes you.
Yeah.
Because I can't tell you how many times I've been with Eileen, and all of a sudden there's a woman that comes up and is like, oh my God, my boyfriend, I really like your vibe.
Oh my God, you're dancing at the club, and you notice out of the corner of your eye that a couple is staring at you. And then they look at you, and they've got that like the swingers club face.
Yes.
They've got the swingers club face. They're like, and then they look at each other, they set their drinks down, and they both move towards you like this on the dance floor. Like, as if it's fun. Like, they already know you. They're acting like you've been over to their house 15 times, you've met all their kids. And it's just like, I already feel violated. You know what I mean? It's like... And they get to you on the dance floor, and they're like, hi, I really like your vibe. That expression, triggering. Deeply upsetting.
Deeply upsetting. Beyond triggering.
You're like, thanks, girl, we know what triggering means.
I was visiting my sister one time, and her in-laws in the white Easter Haven that is Hilton Head.
Easter Haven.
And I was there for Easter, but it's just white people.
Yeah.
Easter.
Yeah.
We like went, or maybe it was Thanksgiving. I don't fucking remember. Anyways, I went down to visit her because she was down there. And everyone in Hilton Head is so fucking lily white and just into horses. And I went to the iconic, so we were staying all together. And I think I got there like early or something, but I was alone. And I rode a bike up because everyone in Hilton Head just had bikes at their house. They're just like, ride a bike. So I rode a bike up to the Salty Dog Cafe, the Salty Dog, where all the t-shirts and sweatshirts are from.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, all right, I'm going to grab myself an IPA. I'm going to look at this lily white community, and I'm going to look at this lighthouse, and we'll be fucking fine.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to look at this poster for this Jimmy Buffett cover band that's playing this weekend and every weekend.
Yes, one-eyed parrot and the Margaritavilles.
Oh my god.
And oh my god, no, a Jimmy Buffett cover band. I take it back. Cheeseburger in Paradise.
Yeah, Cheeseburger in Paradise. Yeah. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And this couple started eyeing me up. I'm not joking. And I never have this happen at the bar. And it's just me and it's this couple. And they start looking. And I text my sister and I'm like, you have to get here or I'm going to end up in a threesome. Like, you got to hurry.
You're like, hi, Jen. I'm not okay. Like,
anyway, she screenshot that shit and she resends it to me. It was like over 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, remember when you almost got into a threesome at the Salty Duck Cafe?
Oh no.
And I'm like, I didn't get into anything. It was no consensual.
No. What did they say?
Nothing, because Jen got there.
Oh, good. Oh, Jen's a real one. Jen is a real one.
They left.
Good.
Yeah.
One time, oh my gosh, I thought, sometimes you would think wrong, but sometimes you think that meeting people in person is safer. But you would be wrong, and I would be wrong. I was wrong.
You were wrong.
And I think the problem with me is the places that I pick. Because it was like, girl, whatever. I know this is going to be controversial, but let's talk about Bossy Girls, okay? It's great. It's a great place. But one thing you don't want to do is chat up the regulars at the bar and have it like, don't allow it to go in a flirtatious romantic direction because it's not going to work out well. It never has. I don't think it ever will. I talked to some guy named Chris who said, hey, I really liked your show. And it was like, that's red flag number 1. But we didn't know that back then. Hey, I really liked your act. And I was like, oh, thank you. Gets me a drink. We talk. It's nice. Whatever. We have a second drink. And then I'm now at the point where my judgment is a little impaired. And we exchange contact information. Okay? Don't do it. Don't do it, Barbara. And so we set up a date at, not Zeno's. What's the place across the street from Zeno's?
Harrison's on 3rd.
We met at fucking Harrison's on 3rd. Might as well have been Cheeseburger in Paradise. We met there. We started talking. This is now fully in the light of day, where whatever veneer of like post-show energy and 2 drinks was happening, I was like, I've made a mistake. So I'm sitting here with this guy, and all of a sudden, a woman shows up and sits on the other side of me and leans into Chris and goes, hey. And he goes, hey. And now I realize they've cornered me into a threesome situation.
Disrespectful.
So disrespectful. Without telling me, without any heads up, I look at him, I look at her, and I'm like, I don't think the straights are going to let me leave alive.
No.
It was
I can't
like,
believe you got out of there.
I know, it was really like Get Out, but for gay people.
Actually, I think, hold on, I'm going to look it up to confirm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure Harrison's on 3rd. Columbus.
That being said, my morning flight was delayed to the afternoon one time, and I ended up at Harrison's on 3rd, and there was no one there except the bartender, and we did tarot together, and it was so much fun.
It is closed permanently, and it is because of that situation you were in.
It is. Thankfully, the media got a hold of it, and the response was actually pretty quick. So we were.
It was swift.
It was swift. It was swift and decisive, and we were pleasantly surprised by that.
Never doubt the gay mafia.
Yeah, but we're asking the community not to talk about it so much because the family is still grieving.
This family is also still grieving the death of what could have been the best throuple in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh
and with that, we will leave you. Thank you as always.
Oh my gosh, is it already 7:30?
We're on 7:37. That's like a Boeing. Isn't it 7:37?
7:37, yeah it is. Oh girl.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
You are a Christmas delight as always, even in March. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will be back this Tuesday, next Tuesday, every Tuesday. I know we're going to have a couple good deep dishes coming up, so stay tuned for that, a spring deep dish.
We haven't picked the topics yet, so if you want to give us some ideas, you can message us on Instagram.
Slide into our DMs. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good night. Bye.
All right, bye everyone. and we'll see you next time for more Tales of the Crypt.